Welcome to Dada Dadi Kehte The. This channel is a gift to children around the world. I, Usha Singh Kashyap, and my husband Ravikant Kashyap create these videos of educational stories for children. These are not made for fame or profit, but rather to share our heritage, our voice, our thoughts, and our love through stories. All children will always remember their grandparents through these stories. So far in Ramayana, you have heard King Dashratha had three queens. Queen Kaushalya's son was Ram, Queen Kaikeyi's son was Bharat, and Queen Sumitra's son were Lakshman and Shatrughna. All four princes received their education from sage Vashishta and returned to Ayodhya after completing their studies. Later, in sage Vishwamitra's ashram, Ram and Lakshman killed the demoness Tadka. Sage Vishwamitra then took them to Sita's Swayamvar marriage ceremony where Ram married Sita. King Dashratha and the people of Ayodhya wanted to crown Ram as the next king. However, Queen Kaikeyi, in exchange for the two boons previously granted to her, demanded that her son Bharat be made king and Ram be sent into exile for 14 years. A heartbroken King Dashratha had no choice but to agree. Sumantra accompanied Ram, Sita, and Lakshman to the bank of the Ganges river and then returned to Ayodhya. Today, children, in part 6 of the Ramayana, you will hear Guru Vashishta sent a message calling Bharat and Shatrughna. Are you ready to hear the story? Come, let's continue with the next part of the story. In Ayodhya, King Dashratha and Queen Kaushalya were hopeful that Sumantra would persuade Sri Rama to return. But when they saw Sumantra returning alone, their hope turned into deep sorrow. King Dashratha's condition continued to worsen with despair. Suddenly he remembered a very old incident and weeping he said, Kaushalya, someone rightly said that every person must bear the consequences of their actions. Long ago in my youth, I committed a terrible sin. Today I am receiving punishment for that sin in form of separation from my son. Kaushalya, surprised, asked, What sinful act, O king? Then Dashratha told Kaushalya, Kaushalya, you know that I can shoot at a target just by hearing a sound, without seeing the object. Long ago, once when I had gone deep into the forest to hunt, one night I suddenly heard the sound of movement in water of the river. The sound was such that it seemed like an elephant was drinking water. I shot an arrow in the direction of the sound. But I was shocked when instead of elephant, I heard the painful scream of a human. When I reached there, I saw a young man soaked in blood lying on the ground. My arrow had hit him and he was writhing in pain. The name of that young man was Shravan Kumar. He said, What have you done, O king? What was my fault that you struck me down like this? Now my death is certain. But please do me one favor. I had come here to fetch water for my blind and elderly parents. Kindly take this water to them and give it to them to drink. But please do not tell them about my death before they drink the water, or else they will refuse to drink it. Saying this, that wounded young man died in my lap. I took the water and went to Shravan's blind and elderly parents. When I reached them, they said, Son, you took so long to return. We are extremely thirsty. Please give us water quickly. When I remained silent, they said, Why are you quiet? Aren't you our son Shravan? Seeing their anxiousness, I could no longer contain my sorrow and crying told them the entire truth. Upon hearing of their son's death, they wept bitterly and cursed me, saying, Just as we are dying in grief over the loss of our son, one day you too shall suffer the agony of losing a son. Then they both gave up their lives. Finally, on the seventh day of Rama's departure to the forest, he gave up his life in unbearable sorrow. Upon hearing the news of the king's death, the entire city of Ayodhya was engulfed in mourning. Bharat and Shatrughna, who were still away in their maternal grandparents' home, had not yet returned, and no one in Ayodhya had the courage to inform them of all that had happened. At that time, Guru Vasishtha then sent messengers to call both princes back to Ayodhya. As soon as the princes heard the Guru's command, they took leave from their maternal uncle and set out for Ayodhya. On the eighth day, they reached Ayodhya. The entire city was engulfed in an atmosphere of mourning. There was deep silence everywhere. Both the brothers were eager to meet their parents and brothers. They hurriedly ran to the palace, but instead of the usual hustle and bustle, they found an eerie silence. They went to their father's chamber, but he was nowhere to be seen. Then they went to Queen Kaikeyi's chamber. Kaikeyi was overjoyed to see her sons. Both of them bowed to her respectfully. Then Bharat, filled with concern, asked about his father. Kaikeyi replied, "Son, your father was a great king. He lived his entire life upholding noble ideas, but now he is no more." Both princes began to cry. Kaikeyi tried to console them. After gaining a little composure, Bharat asked about Ram, Sita, and Lakshman. Kaikeyi then narrated the entire sequence of events from beginning to end. She proudly told him how she had secured the royal throne for Bharat. Hearing this, Bharat, filled with rage, said, "You are responsible for my father's death. You plotted against him and sent my brothers and mother-like sister-in-law into exile. I feel ashamed of you to even call you my mother. From this moment on, I have no relation with you." In the same room stood Manthara. When Shatrughna's eye fell on her, he was filled with anger. When 13 days had passed since King Dashratha's death, on the 14th day, Guru Vasishtha called a meeting of royal council, Mantri Parishad. In the council, there was discussion regarding Bharat's coronation. Everyone unanimously decided that since Ram had gone into exile and King Dashratha had passed away, Bharat was the rightful heir to ascend the throne. Then the royal guru summoned Bharat and conveyed his decision to him. But Bharat, folding his hand, refused to sit on the royal throne. With great humility, he said, "Gurudev, I have decided that only Sri Ram will be the king of Ayodhya. I will go to the forest right now and bring my elder brother back. I am confident that he will agree when I plead with him. He alone will sit on the royal throne because he is the true heir." Little friends, this story teaches us that we should live with love and harmony with our brothers. In the next part of Ramayana, you will hear what happened with Shurpanakha. Little friends, we hope you enjoyed this story. Please share it with your friends and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We will meet again next Sunday morning with another fun story. That's all for today's story. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep smiling. Bye bye.